obviously final preseason game. How are you approaching it in terms of resting guys and planned rest, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we're going to play most of our guys, and try to get them, our main guys some second half minutes. I don't know if we'll finish the game with them, but just a little more work. Try to get them up, high 20s, low 30s in terms of minutes to continue to build their conditioning, get them ready for opening night.
How do you approach this next week or so in terms of final preseason games? Obviously, a lot of excitement to get the real games underway, but kind of got to balance keeping guys healthy, but also keeping their wind back at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to be healthy, but you got to put in the work too. If you're going to be ready to go and hit the ground running when the season starts, you got to put in the work. So, I focus more on that.
Coach, how have you and your staff felt just about the rebounding and how you guys have done with that through the first couple of preseason games?
Can be better. Can be better on both ends. Our box out commitment, did some rudimentary box out drills today just to continue to emphasize that we want to be an elite defensive rebounding team, even though we're not going to be the biggest team. It's about the commitment more than the size. So we'll continue to emphasize that, and the crashing on certain players, the crashing has been extremely consistent. And then as a group, I still think it can be better in terms of offensive rebounding.
Grayson said yesterday that playing with pace wasn't something that's necessarily been an emphasis, but it's clear that the players are going that way with how they want to run off makes and misses. How have you liked the discipline in getting out in transition?
Yeah, I like how we run on turnovers and misses right now. We're not really committed to take it out of the net and get out and go, which is something I think we have to improve upon. Because I do think there's ground you can make up and possessions that you can win. By getting the ball up the floor faster. But off turnovers and misses, I'm happy with where it's at.
And with how many guys you have that can dribble and make the right play, this roster's kind of sort of suited for that in a natural way, right?
Absolutely. Kick aheads, getting guys down the floor, all those things that we have been talking about.
Considering you're still tinkering around with your offense and your lineup, how do you set a rotation early in the season knowing that it's an 81, 82 game season and it's a long haul as opposed to an early sprint?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try to win game one. That's what I'm gonna set out to do, and obviously that doesn't mean we're gonna play guys 45 minutes in game one. We'll have a rotation built in that's built for an 82 game season. The bigger thing is just getting seeing all the different pieces. We're not gonna be able to play everybody obviously opening night, and we'll have a rotation in place to play those role players, and then at some point give other guys looks as well.
Drew's one of those guys that likes to go for block shots and dunks on the other end. What have you seen from him on both ends of the floor in terms of his energy?
Yeah, I like his activities. It's a rare combination of toughness and athleticism. You know what I mean? A lot of guys that can jump like he can jump are rail thin, and can't really bang. And I like his ability to bang and have vertical spacing, and gives us a presence.
That trick with the toothbrush on Letterman, have the guys asked you if you can still do that to this day?
I don't know if I asked that question, but I got a few laughs out of it. When they showed the guys on media day, got a few laughs out of it. Yeah.
Hey, Coach, I'm just kind of curious. It can be difficult, right, to kind of establish team chemistry so early on. But everything seems to be such a smooth transition. Like we've heard Beal repeatedly say everything's been a smooth transition for him as well. Why do you think that is?
I think everybody understands what we have here. We have a special team that has realistic expectations to compete for a championship. Obviously a lot has to go our way. We've got to put in the work, all those types of things, and there's a lot of other great teams out there. But when you have a built-in belief just by looking at the pieces around you, I think there's more of an inclination to jumpstart your chemistry. With our LA mini camp this summer, and guys try and connect in the off season, doing things away from the basketball court, and really putting in the work here in the gym. I think it starts with the belief.
Thanks, Coach.
When you talked to you, had mentioned getting used to playing with KD and Book as far as trying not to step on each other's toes, but it seems like when you guys went out balancing selfishness with staying aggressive?
It's been great, man. We're still working it, still putting more plays and sets in. And I think the thing I just love the most is that they just love the hoop, man, and it just makes it easier for everybody because they're not like big high maintenance guys. Like they don't need a lot. Sometimes they need to scream, sometimes they don't. So I think it just makes it easier for everybody. Just our continuity right now, but still a lot of stuff we got to work
In
on.
terms of the last preseason game, maybe this is a coach question again, but I know you guys always want to be out there. Are you going to see you guys tomorrow night, or it's coach?
It's a coach question, but I assume so. Yeah.
Having the big field like this, if you look at the big picture, this eventually helps you guys going into the playoffs, knowing that you're not busting your mouth with just two guys scoring or one guy scoring throughout the year. You can spread it out with the minutes and also the points during the year.
I mean, that speaks volumes. That's just a testament to the team we have. Just the versatility that we have, man, 1 through 15. It's a credit to James and Josh and Matt and just their dedication to building a great team. And obviously, we still got to go put it together, but it gives you good insight and confidence and peace of mind knowing that, you can go into a year healthy and you have a lot of depth that can, help out throughout the year. So when those times do come for, rest or, guys may not be shooting the ball well or we're playing well, like you have a lot of guys who can step up and help and impact. So it's a lot of great minds, a lot of great bodies in here. And I hate being a coach because our playing time is going to be tough to dish out. That's just...
Brad, I wanted to ask you about your playoff debut. It was a while ago, but what do you remember against that series against Chicago? It really felt like a moment of arrival for you as a young player.
I was excited. I think that was one of the biggest things. And I remember John and I, our coach, who was like our mentor, Sam Cassell, he told us that we won't win unless we play well. And he told us that he made sure we knew that every single day leading up to the series and every day in the series. And so that's one thing I'll never forget is Sam's just intake on us and his mentorship and pushing us through our first series together.
Main reason I want to ask is because the coach you faced in the very next round, of course, was Frank Vogel.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about facing that defense, a playoff defense like that at a young point in your career, and what you learned from it?
Very tenacious. We were actually talking about it like a week ago, the Indiana team, and just how versatile they were, but they were a very big team size-wise. Like they had a lot of tall guys, and they played physical. And that's what Indiana was known for. Everybody played physical basketball. They played inside out, and we were the same way. But I mean, I remember that series was a physical brute match for sure.
Yeah, I watched a bit of it back, and it seemed like you were getting to your spots in that series, and it was less of a pace thing and more of just like the physicality, right? Like you're saying.
100%. You got guys like PG and Lance and Danny might have been on that team if I'm not mistaken, Granger. I mean, just those guys. Like I'm 6'4" and I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is first and second year in the league. Like I'm going against these big old guys, and it was a tough adjustment, but it was fun, man, just to be a part of that series and the playoffs as a whole. But I remember those distinctly. Those were some tough ice after the game type nights for sure.
Last thing I had on this book was actually the same as you were in his first postseason. He played against a Frank Vogel defense again. Did you watch that Lakers series? Do you remember that one where he went off in Game 6 for 46? You remember any of those games watching him?
In the bubble?
Yeah, year after.
The year after the bubble. No, I don't remember. But it wouldn't surprise me.
It was a shot.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It was a shot. Thanks, Brad.
No problem.
You're a guy that likes to put pressure on the rim, active off-ball cutter. This is a team that obviously very different from last year, but was kind of last in the pressure. How important is that?
Hey, I
Are
know
you
that.
finding that, like, with the spacing you have around you, there are more lanes for you to do that?
No, for sure. I mean, you have to respect K, Book, whoever's out there on the floor with us and their ability to shoot the ball and put the ball on the floor too. And Big Nurk and Drew and who's ever at the 5, like their presence is. Everybody has to be respected, and so it's definitely great knowing that I have those driving lanes and I can attack them and get to the mid range if I want to, or get all the way to the cup if need be.
I was going through some of your highlights. One of your best dunks last year was actually, I don't know if you remember it, but it was on Drew.
I know.
Maybe talk to me about
Yeah,
that.
every time we're in practice, Drew try to block every shot I shoot, so I know he'll never let me live it. I'll never let him live it down, but I know for sure he'll probably get me back one day.
That's part of that mentality for those guys, right? They know they're going to get dunked on in some ways, but they don't care.
That's
They're just going up.
that's what I love about guys like that. Like they're gonna jump every single time. They don't care if they get dunked on once, twice, 3 times. Like they're gonna keep jumping. So Drew's athleticism is I wish I had it. So trust me, I keep jumping.
Oh, Brad, what kind of responsibilities has Coach Vogel laid out for you as far as he wants to see you rebounding and what he wants to do from guards from a rebound?
I mean, he wants everybody to rebound. I mean, that's just been kind of his narrative, you know, offensively and defensively. We're not shooting the ball. He wants us to attack the basket and try to get some extra opportunities for us. So, I mean, it's not difficult to do. I mean, obviously having to read and feel for it, you don't want to give out leak out points, but I mean, if we have opportunities to get ourselves extra possessions, we got to go in there and do it.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
No problem.